What's going on, YouTube? This is BBSP. I wanted to do a brief breakdown of the playoffs. Excuse me. I want to do a brief breakdown of the playoffs, what I think so far, and what I think, brief breakdown of each series. I'm going to start with the Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks. So far, the Milwaukee Bucks are taking the Miami Heat to the woodshed. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's had two dominant games so far. First game, Chris Middleton hit a game-winning shot. Giannis had decent game. Decent game. He had decent game. Sporting cast. Drew Holiday is really he's really excuse me, I'm sorry. Apologize for that. But anyway, Drew Holiday's really helping the Milwaukee Bucks so far, and I think he's made them come a long way. He's opened up the game more for Chris Middleton. He's opened up the game more for Giannis, Brook Lopez, all the others. Connaughton, the Miami Heat. So far, they've been, they've kind of had an up and down season, really. And I think that because of that, their chemistry is way off. Their chemistry is kind of off. They're not the same team they were last year. Last year, they were a threat. This year they're a 6 seed and they're kind of off. But that's expected because of the bubble. They were one of the main teams up in the bubble. They were the team that made the finals last year. And Jimmy Butler looks tired. Jimmy Butler looks tired. A lot of these teams, the Lakers, Denver, Boston, they've had very inconsistent seasons, and it really showed in the regular season that that stay in the bubble, that extended stay in the bubble to complete last year was very, very taxing. It affected some teams more than others, but it seemed like Miami hit Miami the most. Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson aren't shooting consistent as they were last year. Bam Adebayo was inconsistent now. I don't know what's going on. Like last year, he was hooping. Last year, he had a dominant run, both on both ends of the floor. But it seemed like this year he's kind of been inconsistent. And I don't know, man. They're down 2-0. They look like they may be in trouble, even though they're going home. I'll give Miami game 3, but it looks like to me Milwaukee Bucks might be moving on. I wouldn't be surprised if that series ended 5 games. Watched the Wizards, Philadelphia 76ers. I watched a little bit of that game the other day, and I gotta say, the Wizards. Sorry for all this coughing, I apologize. But anyway, the Wizards aren't your typical AC, especially when you got a team with Russell Westbrook on there. I mean, first 3 quarters, they pretty much kept it close, until Philly's offense started to cook. Philly's offense started to get more consistent. They started to bang down low with Embiid. And, excuse me. Once again, I apologize. But anyway, Joel Embiid, can he sustain this for the duration of the playoffs? Because Philly, the Sixers are a threat to come out the Eastern Conference, in my opinion. I mean, they have it all. but it seemed like they're missing something. I mean, they could definitely. They're capable. They're more than capable. They're more than capable, straight up, of knocking off either Brooklyn or Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. But shit, Ben Simmons got to step up, man. Ben Simmons got to step up. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this guy. He just refuses to shoot a jump shot. If you take away the driving lanes, then he's non-existent. Especially now, the playoffs, defense is tightened up and the game slows down. I've noticed that Ben Simmons, the only thing Ben Simmons can do is score on fast breaks. It's not like, they leave him wide open. They dare him to take the jump shot. But for me, goddamn, if the Sixers are serious about getting to the finals, Ben Simmons going to have to step up. As far as the Wizards go, Beal and Westbrook's been carrying this team all season, and Rudy Hachimura is a very nice player that I like. Bartez is nice also as well. I suspect they'll get a game, maybe possibly two, but I would still favor the Sixers in this. I would still favor the Sixers in this series, straight up. But the other series, Brooklyn Nets, Boston Celtics. I mean, what is there else to say? I mean, it's a super team against a one man band, man. Like Kevin Durant did his thing, scored efficiently, had like 32 points. Kyrie did it, Kyrie was Kyrie. And James Harden, as usual, facilitated the offense. I mean, we can't really gauge what Brooklyn is actually going to look like. I mean, we can't really gauge because we know they're going to win this series with Boston any damn way. And the jury, I think the jury's still out on this team, man. I don't trust this team at all. I think they still are a super team, but defensively, I think it's still going to be their downfall as to why they possibly won't get to the finals. A lot of these people out here think defense don't matter in the playoffs. It don't matter if you got 3 elite scorers, 3 superstars on your team. If you can't defend in the playoffs, you can't get consistent stops. It's not gonna matter at the end of the day. You can score all the points you want, but if you can't get no stops, no timely stops, you're not gonna win no championship. And we can't gauge this Brooklyn team against the injury and depleted Boston team. So the jury's still out on them, in my opinion. And I'm not really sold on them, though. I think things might break their way to the point where they'll win the championship by default. Every other team has its flaws, has its problems, and they'll win the championship anyway. But I hope that isn't. It's just, I don't know, man. It's something about this team that's like it's just a turn on, man. Maybe because it's Katie and Kyrie, but something about this team that I'm not a fan of, man. But hey, maybe that's just me. I expect them to sweep the Celtics. Maybe the Celtics might get one, but I expect this to be a sweep. Atlanta Hawks, New York Knicks. Trae Young had a game-winning shot. Trae Young had a game-winning shot, and I don't know. The Hawks, they seem like they very much came to play. For me, this is a topsy-turvy series. This could go in. This is like a neck and neck series. This could go any way, either way. I wouldn't be surprised if the Hawks win this series. But then again, Knicks could probably win this series too. I think this will be the only series in the Eastern Conference that'll go seven. The only series in the Eastern Conference that'll go seven because these two teams are evenly matched. But the Knicks still got Julius Randle, Derrick Rose, R.J. Barrett, Omani Topin, and the rest of those players. But then again, a team with Trae Young who could take over a game and take over a series straight up. I think that series could go either way. Going to the Western Conference, the Portland and Denver series. Now, the Western Conference to me, it's more ass backwards. Top seeds aren't really top seeds, and the bottom seeds are better than what they've shown this year, especially the Lakers and especially the Clippers. But for me, I think both the Jazz and the Suns face the possibility of going home early. You can have a situation where both the 1 and 2 seeds get knocked out early because they're not true number 1 seeds. Though I think Utah is more underrated than anything. They've been consistent all year. They've had the best record in the NBA, and they're pretty tough at home. But though I suspect, I think they'll win that series with Memphis because Memphis is a pretty young team, and this is their first go around in the playoffs. And I think once the Jazz get back Donovan Mitchell and they incorporate him back in the offense, I think the Jazz will take off. And that could be a competitive series potentially, but I see that ending in 6. I definitely see that ending in 6 games with the Jazz advancing. Dallas Mavericks and the LA Clippers. Now, this is a series, I'm telling you, man. Dallas Mavericks are going to win this series, man. I'll tell you why. Last year, Porzingis gets hurt. Last year, the Mavericks pushed him to 6 games, and Luka is out there hooping, man. You had Luka, you had Kleber, you had Tim Hardaway Jr., Finney Smith. They got the experience from last year. Last year, they could have easily knocked off the Clippers in the first round. If that, kind of questionable calls and the Porzingis injury don't happen, I think they beat the Clippers in 6 or 7 games. Now, being honest here, straight up. Now, you got the same team coming back playing the same team. It don't matter. It doesn't matter if Clippers so-called upgraded their roster or whatnot. You know what I mean? I mean, shit. You can make the argument that the Clippers bench is more garbage now than it was last year. Because they don't have Lou Williams coming off the bench providing consistent score. And, guys like Luke Kennard, Serge Ibaka, DeMarcus Cousins, Nicholas Batum, and Reggie Jackson. You think they're going to replace Lou Williams' consistent score? I don't. So now you got a situation where the Mavericks, they don't fear this team. They're not afraid of this team. They know they can play with this team, And I think Clippers may win a couple games in this series, but ultimately I see Dallas pulling the upset. Mainly because from the experience they gained last year playing them. And now the Clippers are arguably worse, right? The Clippers are arguably worse, and they're not going to get there. So I think Luka's going to have an impact on this series. Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to have a couple of big games, and I think the Mavericks are going to beat the Clippers in 6 games. straight up. uh, Portland, Denver, Portland Trailblazers, Denver Nuggets. I don't know about this series, man. This series, I gotta tell you, like I don't have no idea who's gonna win this series. Portland came in like gangbusters. Lillard and McCollum did his thing. Carmelo did his thing. Jokic did his thing. Jokic was balling. Uh, and the Nuggets really, you could tell they really miss Jamal Murray's guard play. If Jamal Murray was in this series, I would pick Denver to win 5. But now, to be honest, I have no idea who's going to win this series because Denver doesn't have no guard play. And the only thing they're relying on is Nikola Jokic is scoring, you know? And they won game 2, so we'll see what happens in game 3. Game 3, that man is huge. That could maybe turn the series, possibly, but like I said before, I have no idea who's going to win this goddamn series. I have no idea who's going to win this shit because this is another series that could go either way, much like the Hawks and the Knicks. So, I don't know, man. That's a toss-up. Lakers, Suns. Lakers, Phoenix Suns beat the Lakers 99-90. Devin Booker had a big game. DeAndre Ayton especially had a big game. Cameron Payne also had a big game, and the Suns role players pretty much stepped up. Chris Paul got injured, got hurt early with a stinger, was very ineffective. You know, I kind of feel bad for the dude, man. You know what I mean? It's like every time he has a team to the point where he can compete for a championship, injuries always get in the way. And this right here is no different. That's a stinger. We'll see what he looks like tonight. Game 2 is tonight, but we'll see what it looks like. But Anthony Davis, man, I don't know what's going on with this guy. I don't know what's going on with this cat. I mean, he's been very inconsistent all year. It's not like last year where he was just dominant in and out. Dominant, had dominant games in and out. Yeah, he was injury prone, but he came back and was, probably a top 5 player in the league, arguably a top 5 player in the league. And only last year you can make a case that he was a top 5 player in the league. But this year, I don't know if it's complacency. I don't know if it's injuries, but you don't seem to have that fire in his belly to want to compete for another championship. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seemed like to me he's very complacent. And this was supposed to be the year that he was going to carry the torch from LeBron James. LeBron James is in his 18th season, and he still has to carry the load for this Lakers team. And for me, in the long run, that might be a recipe for disaster because he's coming off a high ankle sprain that kept him out for damn near 2 months. And I got to admit, LeBron James is not the same player he was 10 years ago. He's not the same player he was even 5 years ago. So I think it's an indictment on Anthony Davis that LeBron James, 36-year-old LeBron James, in his 18th season has to carry the load for this team. And speaking of which, the supporting cast, they got to step up, man. It's no goddamn excuse. There's no excuse for that shit, man. You know, your one superstar is in his 18th season and is near the end of his prime, and the other superstar is injured. So why the hell you're not stepping up? Why the hell you're not stepping up? Kyle Kuzma out here scoring 0 points, not doing the damn thing. KCP is out here. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is out here breaking. You know, I mean, I don't get it with this team, man. And I feel like last year's team, they should have kept together. They should have kept last year's team together straight up because they were battle tested. Veterans who knew their role, and they were very competitive. You didn't have this complacency. They were satisfied and they were content. But you got a bunch of malcontents on this team, man. Like Montrezl Harrell, he's an undersized center who can't play defense. Dennis Schroeder is looking for a contract, and Andre Drummond, he's like a dinosaur. He's like a fossil. You know what I mean? He's out of place in this game. His game would have been effective 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but not today. Not in today's game with fast pace and the pick and roll. You know, and I don't understand why they're not playing Marc Gasol more. Marc Gasol, yeah, he's slow. Yeah, he's not the player he once was, but he'll provide playmaking in the front court. And it'll open things up for Anthony Davis more to dominate. But I have no idea. To be honest with you, I have no idea who's going to win that series. Like, if Anthony Davis keeps being this inconsistent and they have to rely on the 36-year-old past his prime LeBron James to carry them, then Lakers might be in trouble, man. Lakers might be in trouble. Because Phoenix is no pushovers. Yeah, they may not have experience, but basically Anthony Davis gave DeAndre Ayton confidence now. He scored 22 points, but now he has confidence straight up. And he's going to go out there the rest of the series like, you know what? I'm gonna punish this dude, man. He can't guard me. I'm gonna abuse him down low. He ain't gonna be able to do shit. And that's gonna put the onus once again on LeBron James. And like I said before, he shouldn't be having to carry this load. You know? Not in this 18th season, 36 years old. But I don't know, man. If Anthony Davis and the supporting cast don't step up, I'm telling you right now, Lakers might be in trouble. You know, and I'm just being honest here. Lakers might be in some trouble, man. But let me know what y'all think.